and this would be the homogeneous version of this non-homogeneous equation. Hello guys, I hope you're doing great. In this video I'll be explaining to you the higher order differential equations and all the theory that is needed to support the analysis for higher order differential equations. These are mostly definitions, but these are really important to understand the problem solution that is going to come in the future videos. So please try to understand them. If you don't understand anything, please ask in the comments below, so that we can be very clear of what the terminology is and what the types of equations are before we go any further. So these are higher order differential equations. These are not as easy to solve as the first order differential equations, but we have managed to develop certain methods, and many mathematicians have come up with solutions for different types of differential equations. So first of all, what we need to mention is there is a convention that we're going to follow, that any differential equation that we are going to solve in this chapter or in this category of differential equations, of higher order differential equations, these are going to be presented in a particular format, and that particular format will be for nth order differential equations. These will be linear differential equations, and by linear means that there will not be a function of y which is a nonlinear function other than the rate of change of y of any order, right? So I'm going to write down a second order ordinary differential equation, and it will be a2 d2y divided by dx2 plus a1 dy, and let me write d1y over dx1 plus a0 equal to f. So why I have given or left some spaces in between these functions is that I want to emphasize that this a2 can only be a function of x. Similarly, a1 can only be a function of x. By the way, there is going to be a y over here. This a0 can only be a function of x, and this f can only be a function of x. So for example, this thing was a2 of x comma y. That means that there was a y in this function somewhere. So we say that that equation has become a non-linear equation. But if, as long as a2 is only a function of x, we say that this equation is a linear equation. And this 1 and this 2, these represent the order of the derivative. So this is the first order derivative, this is a second order derivative. There could be n or nth order of derivatives. So for example, there could be a n of x d nth derivative of y with respect to x, plus there will be the smaller order. So actually let me write over here a n minus 1 x, this will be a function of x again, n minus 1 divided by dx n minus 1, the n minus 1th order differential equation, the derivative, plus so on up to a1 of x dy by dx plus a0 of x y equal to f of x. So no matter how long this equation is, we will make sure that all of the differential equations in this context are always represented or written in this particular format. So this is our starting standard format. Okay, so once we have written the differential equation in this standard form, we will be able to do certain operations on this equation. So another thing which is really important at this point is that if you have, for example, this second order differential equation a2 y double prime plus a1 y prime plus a0 y equal to f of x, if you have this differential equation, the number of solutions of this equation will have constants of integration, and instead of having one constant of integration, this equation is going to have two constants of integration, namely c1 and c2. Now when we have two constants of integration which are two unknowns, we must have at least two initial values given to us along with the problem statement of such questions or such differential equations. So those initial values could be, like this: y at an initial value x0 is y0, so where x0 and y0 are known constants which may be given to us for a problem statement. Similarly, y prime of x0 equal to y1 and so on. So for two constants of integration, we must have at least two values of two initial values to solve and find the values of C1 and C2 for the solution of a second order differential equation. So if we have a third order differential equation, we should have at least three initial values to support the problem statement to resolve the values of constants of integration. So the second most important terminology that you need to understand at this point is called the homogeneous equations. So homogeneous equations are differential equations which look exactly like this in the standard format, but the only difference is that there is no f of x, right? So when f of x is absent, and by f of x being absent we mean that it is identically equal to 0. So I'm going to write a second order differential equation, a2y double prime plus a1 y prime plus a0y equal to 0. So we can say that this equation is a homogeneous equation. Why? Because number one, it is written in the standard form. It is written in standard format. This is the first requirement. And the second thing is that the right hand side or of this equation is 0, or f of x is equal to 0. So if you see an equation which is following these two conditions, then you will say that this equation is a homogeneous equation. So obviously, what would be a non-homogeneous equation? A non-homogeneous equation would be an equation where the right hand side is non-zero. That is, f of x is non-zero. So this is an example of a second order non-homogeneous equation where there is an f of x present which is not equal to 0, and an f of x not equal to 0, the example could for this could be that, for example, here it was written cos 5x, right? So you could say that this is a non-homogeneous equation. And another thing, we can make a non-homogeneous equation a homogeneous equation. How? What we do is we simply erase, or we simply delete this part, and we write a 0 over here. So obviously this is not the same equation as before, because there is no the right hand side used to have a function and now it doesn't have a function. So these are different equations, but there is a relationship between these two equations. So a homogeneous equation, which is a homogeneous version of a non-homogeneous equation, is known as an associated homogeneous equation of the given non-homogeneous equation, right? So for example, I was given with 3y double prime plus 2y prime plus 5y equal to 6x square. This is a valid standard format equation. So what if I wrote 3y double prime plus 2y prime plus 5y equal to 0? I would say that this equation is an associated homogeneous equation of this non-homogeneous equation, right? So this would be the non-homogeneous equation, and this would be the homogeneous version of this non-homogeneous equation. So this is just for example. So these were really important terminologies, and these two conditions are something that you must always remember. That first, don't never forget to write the equation in a standard format, and when you do that and the right hand side is 0, it will be a homogeneous equation. Now there is something called a superposition principle. A superposition principle says that a solution to a differential equation, for example y of x is a solution, it can be a sum of different solutions. So for example, if I wrote c1 y1 of x plus c2 y2 of x plus up to as many as k solutions, c k y k of x, this solution to a differential equation means that this is a valid solution, right? Valid solution number one. This is also a valid solution. This is valid solution for a given differential equation number 2. Now we're talking about the same differential equation. These two solutions are valid, and up to kth solution, all these are valid solution, kth valid solution to the same differential equation independently. But when we add them together by multiplying two different constants like c1, c2, ck, etc., when we do that, the sum of all of these things, all of these independent solutions will also be a valid solution, right? So we are allowed to add as many independent solutions as we like, and the sum of those solutions will also be a valid solution. This is the superposition principle for homogeneous equations. And similarly, we have a version of this theorem for non-homogeneous equations as well. So for non-homogeneous equations, so let me write over here that this was the superposition principle for homogeneous equations. So for the same superposition principle for non-homogeneous equations, what it says that it will have the same number of solutions as before as the homogeneous version of this non-homogeneous equation, but it will also have one more solution which will be based on the right hand side of the non-homogeneous equation, which is this f of x, and that solution will be called the particular solution yp, right? So the superposition principle for non-homogeneous equation says that if you add all the complementary solutions in the complementary independent solutions of a differential equation with each other, and then what you do, you on top of those you also add the particular solution which is a result of f of x, which is the non-homogeneous part of the homogeneous equation. The sum of all of these solutions will also be a valid solution of the differential equation. And not just that, if you have multiple functions on the right hand side of the non-homogeneous equation, for example, you had an equation like, for example, a2 y double prime plus a1 y prime plus a0 y equal to f1 of x plus f2 of x. For example, this was the case, and due to this f1 of x, we solve this non-homogeneous equation and we retrieve yp1 of x, and due to this f2 of x, we retrieved yp2 of x. We could also add them to the general solution, and the sum of all these solutions will still be a valid solution. So that was the superposition principle for non-homogeneous equations. So these are all the important theories that we require for further solution of second or higher order differential equations. So if you are able to grasp all of these things, I hope you do, because if you don't, you won't be able to understand the future videos, the upcoming videos. So please watch this video a couple of times and try to memorize or try to get acquainted with all the terminologies that I have told in this video, because if you go through this, only then you can go further with the future topics. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to stay connected, and I hope to see you in the next videos. Bye.